Fuck. Neuronymous. Hey, boys and girls, this is another episode of Neuronymous. We've got a great show today. We've got lead guitarist for a cover band called Sinister, and his name is David Jorgensen. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It could be Jorgensen, as I said in the last episode. It's very Swedish looking, and I can't tell. So we'll figure that out. We're gonna burn the midnight oil figuring that how to pronounce that last name. Actually, it probably won't take that long. We'll probably take a second. But anyway, so yeah, I've listened to their stuff on YouTube. Great stuff. Great pyrotechnics. Really good stuff. And he also, I don't know if he still does, but he at least worked at the place that I am still currently employed with, and he worked in technical support. And I've got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, his voice is like butter. Like, he's got an amazing voice. Like, I was just like, I listened to it and I was like, holy shit, why is this guy working? This guy needs to be like a DJ or something. Like, he's got a sexy ass fucking voice. Sorry, I'm just laying it out there. Anyway, so he's going to be on here. And here's the thing. He's, I don't know him very well. I know him, a good friend of mine, Allison Danley. She and I are good friends. She moved to Georgia. I don't know if they're still together. That could be a little bit of an awkward thing to not know, but we'll bulldoze through that. But anyway, I know him through her, and he's, we're Facebook friends, and he seems like he's got his finger on the pulse of pop culture. He really does. He seems to know a lot of different cool things, and he's a big geek like me. He wanted to know what we were going to talk about, and I said, honestly, anything and everything. And we talk about music, pop culture, whatever. So he's here right now. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. Alright, so we got David Jorgensen on the episode, and so apparently it's not the last name is not Swedish. I was incorrect about that. It's
Danish. It's En. En is Danish. On is Swedish.
Oh, okay.
There's an anecdote. It's a sin to call a son a son.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. I that is like. Yeah, we may as well be talking about politics now. I'm just kidding. So what's going on, man? We're still working at the same place, which we don't know. We don't use the name of.
The Monolith.
The Monolith. Yep. So how are you? So you're working from home.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
Oh, I love it. It's so much better than going into the call center environment every day.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, like, it's been a weird transition because for me, like, there's no division because, like, because I have my office is upstairs, and so, like, and I'm constantly wearing, like, my bathrobe. I finally started to decide to as a way to divide things, to wear jeans and like a t-shirt with the emblem on it, just so that way I can say I'm like wearing something that resembles like work clothes.
Why even bother?
Yeah, I know, right? But I need to, because otherwise, I'll go downstairs and then my wife will be like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Fucking hate you." Just kidding, and then so there's just no division because when you're dry, before when we were in the center, you had that like 15-20 minute drive home, you could decompress, You can listen to some music. You can kind of just relax and be like, okay, I'm done for the day. Now you're just like stewing in your shit like all day. Yes, at least for me anyway.
See, I have a different experience with it. For me, yeah, I mean, yes, it's all the same, but for me, in a good way, because all I do is like I'm just always home. I'm always home. I'm always doing what I want to do, and I wear what I want to wear, and I also live alone, which is nice because then I don't have to interact with people when I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm married. I don't get that. I mean, and I love being married. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love being married, but sometimes, like, and there's absolutely no way I could afford this fucking house without my wife.
Oh no.
I mean, it's good to have a dual income. So, tell me. I mean, how do you guys just do covers? I mean, Sinister?
Yeah. So my band, Sinister, that I have been in since... Well, I've been in the band for about 8 years now.
8 years?
Yep.
Wow.
The band started in like 2003. Okay. The only original member is the drummer, and it's his band.
Oh, wow.
He was a touring musician in the 80s. Like, he toured with all the big acts. His band never got popular, but he's shared tour buses and hotel rooms with any big 80s rock band you could think of.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a lot of stories.
Oh shit.
And a lot of cocaine.
Oh, okay.
Well, he goes by Scooby.
Scooby.
Yeah, everybody calls him Scooby. Yep.
Right.
So, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever know. He's a successful businessman now. He's actually a pretty high muckety-muck with the Schwann's company.
Oh, really?
Minnesota-based company. Yep.
Cool.
And we practice in his garage, and it's just a group of guys. For most of the time I've been in the band, we've actually had a female singer, but she retired last year.
Retired? Was she like 65 or?
No, just retired from doing it. She's like 45, maybe almost 50 now. But but she her voice just couldn't hold up to it anymore and had to take a step back. But we've got a new guy now, and he's awesome. Mostly a summer band, so we don't have a lot of shows during the winter most of the time. Sometimes we'll do a Halloween show. Sometimes we'll do
That's pretty cool.
New Year's, but mostly we do outdoor big summer shows with the full pyro and everything.
Yeah, and the costumes are fucking fantastic too. I mean, well, not costumes,
but the gear. Yeah. So a couple of the guys, a couple of them are like super, super good at making that stuff.
Yeah.
So a couple of the guys buy their clothes. I am too large of a person to fit into most of that stuff.
Larger than life. Let's
but the other guitarist is excellent at tailoring those things, and he makes those clothes for me.
Yeah, I watched a video of him, of you guys playing "You Ought to Know" by Alanis.
That was a fun song to play.
Fucking fantastic. I got chills watching that.
Yeah. I mean, she could absolutely sing.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about?
Beth. Yeah, she could sing really well. We don't do that song now with a male lead vocalist, but yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. So, but no, and one of the reasons I was just like, I should have David on, because like I see a lot of your posts on Facebook, and they're very pop culture based, some of them. And I like talking about pop culture too, but so I mean, we're kind of getting to the end of the year. Have you been keeping up with movies or TV or anything like that?
Not so much movies. I don't even have cable. I just do the streaming thing.
Really?
Yeah. I am less attached to pop culture than maybe I make it seem, but I try and keep up with some of it.
Yeah.
My pop culture knowledge is more niche, I think.
Yeah.
Than broad.
Let's hear what give me the niche.
Oh goodness. Just the certain video games that I play, and like I haven't seen any of the Avengers movies made in the last few years.
Good.
Which I maybe I should probably see them, but I haven't.
Some of them are better than others. I mean, Infinity War was spectacular. I mean, it went dark, and I like it when things just go against complete expectations. Like it ends just so fucking dark, man. Like,
my girlfriend, your friend Allison.
Yes, Allison.
When she first saw that, it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
And she was rather inebriated when she watched it at home, and she called me at like 12 a.m. and was just crying, bawling, and could not stop.
Even
it was very adorable.
Well, I can't say even I cry at everything. Like I fucking cried during like every episode of This Is Us. I mean,
I've heard that's a good show.
It is a really good show, but I cry every single fucking episode. So I mean, and it's. I've come to the conclusion that if anything can draw an emotion out of me like that, it's probably doing its job.
And that's art, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
art. If you can draw an emotion from somebody or make them think, that's the point of art. That's something I'm big on. Is art and art culture.
One thing, my first experience as far as that kind of thought process. Have you ever seen the movie Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee?
I have not.
Okay, well here's the thing. I watched it in this African American Studies class in college, and they asked me to write like a paper on it, and I wrote a review, and I wrote a review saying this is the worst movie I've ever seen, and then I also wrote a review saying this is one of the best movies I've ever seen, because like I hated it, and I was angry, and it pissed me off, but I liked it for exactly those same reasons. You know what I mean? And I think if the duality, that kind of duality, that says a lot about, art or film or TV. If something can draw that kind of hatred and just emotion, then it probably did it. That's probably doing what the filmmaker said.
As long as it's doing it in the right way, I think, truthfully. As long as it's being truthful about how it does it. Because other times, I think films can, and other pieces of art, can draw emotions from people in an untruthful way. And I think there's a huge industry built on that.
Yeah. Example?
Well, I think just any kind of documentaries that are presenting a biased front opinion. I think it's particularly quite prevalent in political media, but news organizations. Well, they're not even the worst or only perpetrator. But
they're all fucking.
Most of them are. There are legitimate news sites, but most of the popular ones are not.
You gotta look for the ones that are actually.
But Fox News, as far as the big ones, they're of course the worst.
Yeah. So how are I mean, we talked about Allison at the before the show started. So she's in Georgia and you are thinking about moving.
Oh no, I have decided. You've
decided.
Yep,
okay.
I will be moving down to Georgia
reals.
In the next couple months here. Yep.
Awesome. That's so cool. I mean, do you guys see any big wedding plans in the future?
For sure.
Has it happened?
No, we are not at this point engaged.
Okay.
But
you may as well be.
I think that is the direction we're heading.
Yeah. How's she doing? I mean, I don't really talk to her very much. Sure. I mean, like she and I would like just talk like all the time when we were working at the
Monolith.
Yeah, that's right. I need to write that down. Anyway, at the Monolith. And then I remember we'd talk, like I'd be messaging her in the evening. She'd be at Buster's and she talked to me about Reuben balls.
Oh, she loves. We both love Reuben balls.
I've never tried them.
You've never tried a Reuben ball?
I've never been.
You fool.
I've had a. Yes, I am foolish. I am. I am not. I'm just a corn-fed Nebraska boy. But I am a Jew, so I probably should know what a Reuben ball is. So, I mean, I definitely...
Well, I think it's more German, so,
Is it
you could,
really?
You could maybe... Well, it's got sauerkraut in it.
This is true. It does have sauerkraut in it. What?
So I can understand your avoidance.
Where am I getting my intel from? All this... I'm living a lie, man. Like, all this time I thought Reubens were Jewish things, and now...
No. So that's okay. No, feel free to stay away. I understand.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know. No, German things do scare me a little bit. Yeah. So, but otherwise, I mean, it's... So what do you... I mean, when you guys aren't... So do you guys go... You guys tour, obviously. Mm-hmm. Do you guys go outside of Minnesota?
So our typical range is 250 miles from Fairmont. The drummer lives near Fairmont, and we're all kind of within that area.
Okay.
So we'll go 250 miles from there. We used to go to Brainerd a lot. We do shows in Iowa, and we play quite frequently in Sioux Falls.
Yeah. What's your what would you say your favorite song to play is?
My favorite song of ours to play?
Yeah.
My favorite one to play would be Anastasia by Slash and Miles Kennedy. That's because it's the most technical one for me to play on the guitar.
Yeah.
I also love playing our version of Rage Against the Machine's "Killing in the Name,"
Oh,
which we just turned into a super hard rock. And I also love Motley Crue's "Kickstart My Heart," which is just an excellent song.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think my favorite Motley Crue song is it's so cliche.
Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet
Yeah,
Home,
we do that one too.
Ever since the movie Hot Tub Time Machine,
Sure.
whenever I hear it, I just think of that movie.
I love that. I've never seen Hot Tub Time Machine.
Are you? No, really?
Mm-mm.
Okay, fool.
That's fair.
We're
That's
even
fair.
now. We're even now. All
But
right.
yeah, that one is a lot of fun because it really builds to a climactic and heavily emotional guitar solo.
Yeah.
And so when the guitar solo can be, and I am not the kind of lead guitarist who thinks every song needs to have a guitar solo.
Right.
I'm okay taking a back seat. It's fine. Some songs need that. But in that song, really the emotional climax is this big sweeping guitar solo. So that is tons of fun for me to just wail on.
Yeah, and that's fun. And when I watched that video, like, you guys look like you genuinely look like you're having a really good time when you're playing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I guess that probably goes with the territory. I mean, why play if you're not gonna have fun?
I mean, we don't really make much money doing it, and everybody in the band has a full-time real job. So it is there to be a fun thing to do, but we also take it pretty seriously, and we try to be very professional in how we do it.
Yeah, So this Scooby guy, you said he's the nicest guy in the world. Did a lot of cocaine.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm also a recovering drug addict.
Sure.
Yeah, and I also did my fair share of cocaine. Maybe. I think cokeheads may be the nicest guys in the world.
It could be.
I don't know. I think it's because we're just so happy when we're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I've got about over 8 years clean. And
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, my voice is going. Yeah.
I am lucky in that I have basically the least addictive personality of anybody I've ever known.
Really?
So I've never had to deal with that struggle.
Do you? So no weed, no cigarettes, no nothing.
Oh, I smoke both upon occasion.
Okay.
There was a point in my life when I was in college when I tried to get addicted to cigarettes just to see if I could.
Yeah.
No.
See, and that's that's the line, man. That's between addicts and normies. We call people like you normies.
That's fine. I will be a normie.
Yeah, and because the thing is with me, like, and I talk about addiction all the time, so it's old news. Like, it's not even the drug. It's like the ritualism of it.
Right.
It's the
well, you get that psychological dopamine
exactly
from doing this thing that you find comforting.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, like, this has become my addiction. I mean, doing this podcast now, whether it's a piece of shit or not, I don't know, but people are listening, so I mean, I guess I'm doing something right. But yeah, I mean, it's although I will say this, I had you were talking about not making money. Like, I don't make any money on this shit. Like, I think I can make some money. Like, there's the way to
there
do
are
it.
Ways.
To
advertising and then Patreon and such. If you can get some sponsors and
exactly.
Patreon
And the thing
subscribers.
is, at one point I asked, because when you first start Podbean, which is the website I go through, you get 5 hours for free. That's it. And then I realized I had some decent name, interviews coming up, and I was like, oh shit, I need more time, there's got to be more time. So I asked my parents at first. I was like, hey, for Hanukkah, do you guys want to give me like $100 so I can go premium? And and I never heard back from it. And to be completely honest, I'm okay with it that I never heard back from them about it, because I don't want my parents having any control over this, because I kind of talk a lot of shit about my parents. And, not like, I'm not saying like they're terrible parents, but I mean, I call them on their bullshit, you know? It's my parents and I had a fairly difficult, from 7 on, and then, the whole drug addiction, and then, they were paying for my college tuition, and then my mom found out I was smoking cigarettes. She's like, well, if you can pay for cigarettes, you can pay for college. So I was actually making like a lot of money. I was actually doing really well financially, and then once my mom found out I was smoking cigarettes, like that all went out. That went bye, and I ended up having to pay for the rest of my college, and that pretty much exhausted my funds. But no, I mean, I was like a goody two shoes way back in the day, like, you know, before any like addiction, and I think it's probably because like I was, you know, like, you know, I was when I was younger, I always was like, you know, like, I don't understand why people do drugs, you know, and then, you know, and then college happened, and then, you know, you hit a point in your life where you're like, I need something, you know, you know, like, and after you think at first, you know, the drugs are, you know, are you can handle, and then they just it goes out of runs off the rails. So,
I'm sure.
So you don't have any addiction, nothing. What is there food, anything besides Reuben,
Well, I mean,
besides Reuben balls?
If you look at my girth, I think it's fairly clear that I am a man of food. But
please don't show me your girth.
oh, wow. Once Allison hears that, she's going to go nuts.
Yeah, I know.
But
Allison, it's okay. He did not show me his girth.
No, in a good way. She loves to talk about the girth.
Oh, but, Jesus Christ! All right, awesome.
I mean, you know her. That is.
Oh yes, I do know. I do know.
But anyway, no.
Doesn't mince words.
I mean, I could say I don't know if I'd say that I have a food addiction. Perhaps. Yeah. I like food and I enjoy food, but I don't really consume a ton of food. It's more that I'm quite sedentary in my habits these days. I just don't get much exercise, and I'm not like super fat or anything.
No,
but
no. You're what the dating websites would consider as cuddly.
Cuddly, there you go.
That's
cuddly.
That's what I put myself on JDate. Like,
there you go.
Back in the day, I'd be like,
perfect.
I'm cuddly, you know, like a warm fuzzy bear.
Yeah.
And yeah,
but no, I have to say I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I really have no addictions. I had still continue to have an excellent relationship with my parents.
Oh, good.
And yeah.
You know, and the thing is, so do I. I mean, I actually talk to my parents at least several times a week, and it's just like, I think, at least for me, my parents, it was like always at the like ranked up to 11, you know, and then now they're like getting old, and like here's a funny story. Like, my mom had to get her hip replaced now, and she's getting to that age. She's gonna be, I think she's gonna be 66 or something like that. But so here's a funny story, and I don't think I've told anybody on the podcast this. So this is brand new material. All right. So so my parents come in last year, right? And it was the first time they'd been to this house, because we got the house August 2nd of 2017. So my parents come, and my mom, my mom's this neurotic Jewish mother, your typical Jewish mother that you see in, like, you know, movies and TV and stuff like that. And like so my wife is taking a shower, and my mom, like, she had to use the bathroom, right? And I'm sure she'd be just completely mortified me telling about this story, but you know, they go to Sam's and Costco all the time, and you can get samples there, right? Well, one of the samples they got was like an adult diaper sample, or for something to put on your dogs or something like that, you know.
Interesting. For those involved in the fetish community,
exactly.
This is your gateway.
Yeah, so my wife's taking a shower, and my mom has to pee. So, you know, this goes without saying, my wife is a female human being, and my mom is a female human being. You know, there are public restrooms for a reason. You know, people are in there at the same time. But my mom didn't think it was dignified to knock on the door and say, hey, I need to use the restroom.
Is this a typical Mankato house that has only one bathroom?
It is, yes.
That was converted from some other linen closet because all these houses were built in a time when there weren't indoor bathrooms?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep, that's what they all are.
And so, so my mom decides, I'm just going to fucking pee into the diaper. So my mom fucking takes a piss in our house, not in the bathroom, in a diaper. So that was fun.
That is a tremendously good story.
So here's the punchline, though. My parents refuse to come back until we get a second bathroom. And I'm just like, Okay.
I mean, at that point, why wouldn't you just go down to the street to the gas station?
Yeah, exactly. Go to the gas station. But like for me, I'm just like, okay, do you want to pay for that shit? Because I don't think we can afford putting like. She was like,
no.
So
I used to sell home improvements and building bathrooms. Yeah. It is expensive as shit.
Exactly. So my wife says to my mom, well, all right, what if we got a commode? You know,
okay,
like
right.
you know, like from like the dark, you know, the medieval times.
Yeah,
like a chamber pot.
Yeah, a chamber pot.
Yeah. And my mom was like, "There's this long pause," and she goes, "Okay, we'll come in." So like my mom, but this is where it gets weird. My mom expects us to put this commode, this chamber pot, in the entrance to our household, so that way she doesn't have to go up the stairs. And like right where you came in, she expects us to put a fucking commode there. And
that seems very unusual.
Yeah,
maybe only when she's here you can put it there.
No. So and then we got a futon for mom and dad.
A flip-a-fuck, as we called them in college.
A flip-a-fuck.
You fuck on one side and sleep on the other side.
I've never heard that, and now I really don't want to think of it like that because my parents sleep in it. But no, we were like, no, we're putting the commode inside the guest bedroom, which is now doubles as my office. And so she was like, well, what am I gonna do if I have to go? Well, we're like, well, we're not fucking cleaning it. You wanted the commode. If you need to use the commode, you clean the commode out. So unless you feel like dumping out like whatever you've done in there, like don't. Yeah, no. Has this become a weird? Is it?
Well,
gotten weird?
It's unusual, but that's all right. I like unusual.
Yeah,
I'm also a very big fan of the Victorian era.
Oh, yeah?
So we are talking, right in the wheelhouse of things I have studied and know.
Yeah, I just my parents I mean they think we're insane about this whole puppy litter thing that we're gonna be doing, and I can't agree with them more. I last night.
How many puppies did you say it was? 8 puppies. I mean, that
puppies.
is adorable. And how can you have a bad day when you have a basement of 8 puppies?
8 puppies.
But
yeah.
also that is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work and a lot of piss and shit.
Yes.
And the thing I'm scared about is like, what if I want to keep them?
I mean, you're going to want to.
I'm going to want to.
There's no way you can't.
There's no way you can. And the thing is that I'm terrified that. But the thing is, Amanda, my wife, is technically, I mean, she's a dog walker at benches, and she also she's a dog cuddler as well. She cuddles with them and gives them attention for a while, and that's what she does to kind of blow off steam for her. Sure. Me, I do a podcast and talk to nobody, and sometimes in the dark, in a whisper, help me. So that's what she does. So. There was this gal who just couldn't handle. They were the puppies were breaking down their barriers, and she just got to her wit's end. And so, Amanda sends me a text saying, like, at first she tries to play it off as like we're doing it jokingly, know, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, ha 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 ha. And she was like, okay. She was like, well, you need to come down to the shelter. And we need to figure out what we're doing. I'm like, oh shit, this just got real. So, as of tomorrow night, we will be having 8 new friends in our home downstairs in the basement, and it's going to be a shitstorm.
What ages and what breeds are they?
I think they're huskies.
Oh, nice.
And they're like,
those blue eyes, you're gonna die.
Yeah, 3. I think they're like 2 or 3, maybe 5 weeks old.
Okay.
Yeah. So my wife was spending all night last night, like looking at pens for like, the dog, the puppies, so they won't break through them. And I'm just like, meanwhile, I was just chomping on my dinner. I'm just like, this is your project. But she's like, you do know that during the day, this is going to be your responsibility. And I was like, well, how the fuck am I going to do my fucking podcast now? How's that going to work? It's not.
Do it downstairs and make it the puppy cast.
Oh my god, that's a good idea.
And you just have the cute sounds of 8 playful little huskies in the background.
Oh my god. David,
you're going to open yourself up to
no
a whole
wonder
new
you're in
audience.
tech support. It's like
This is finding outside the box solutions.
This is why I transferred like the customers to you, like because I can't think outside the box like this. I'll have to bring my laptop down and my microphone.
Your whole setup here is very portable. You'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've taken it to places. I've actually had. There's this guy in town, local musician named Ian Hilmer, really good guy, and he played his guitar. He took us out on an episode just playing an original song, and it was really cool. And I was really surprised by just how good the sound quality is. I mean, I probably don't need the second mic, but I just want to make it so that way it,
If you want to talk audio equipment, man, you've got the right guy. I'd be
Really?
happy to talk either on the cast or afterward about setups and stuff.
Yeah.
But Blue, I mean, your Blue microphone, Blue is I think really top tier microphone.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, the Yeti or the Snowball, the black Snowball you have is it's a podcast mic. That's what it's meant for.
Yep. And and the thing is, I was gonna get like this $160 equipment and like this, and I told this story a million times, but I'll tell it again. And an old friend of mine says, "You don't need that. Just get this thing."
Yeah, get
and,
the Blue.
And it
Get
was
the
like
Snowball.
it was like $39, and yet I still was like, "But I can't afford a podcast mic. It's not in the budget." And so I had this other old friend who says like, "All right, dude, what's your address?" And like 2 days later, the mic was on my doorstep.
Nice.
And so I did, up until I went premium, I did like nothing to contribute financially to this thing. So now I've gone premium. I get the website. Everything is good, and like I said, it's I never even, I'd heard of Spotify, but apparently once you go on Spotify, people are like, "Oh my God, you're on Spotify."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, both Spotify and iTunes, if
I'm
we're
on
talking
iTunes,
podcasts,
yeah.
those are the right things to do because the more reviews you get on both of them, the higher your podcast will show up in search results.
Right.
So they're really good for like search aggregation.
Yeah. And then I'm just flabbergasted because like this is like basically like the Seinfeld of like podcasts. It's about nothing.
No theme.
Well, a lot of the themes deal with addiction and recovery because
There you go. That's fair.
Hello, and we talk about pop culture and movies, TV, music, whatever, and we talk about I being a bisexual man myself. We talk about sexuality, gender, transgender, the whole LGBTQ plus whatever it is now.
It gets to a point like I try to be as strong an ally as possible.
Oh yeah.
But it gets to a point where I don't want to keep typing these letters.
Yeah, I know.
Let me do LGBT and maybe Q, maybe plus.
Yeah, plus exactly. I think once you add the plus, that's like
You're okay.
That's like
You're
doing the whole pi. Doing pi 3.148, whatever.
Yeah. You
After
just get to a certain point, and then you just put a line over the top.
Yeah, exactly. You get the idea. Yeah. So, otherwise, but Allison's doing pretty well now. Then I guess.
Yeah, so she works.
She
works for her father's company.
Yeah,
she just got offered the full-time position. She's been working part-time.
Okay.
So she's coming to visit next week, and when she gets back, she will be full-time.
Oh, sweet. All right. Well, we gotta get together. Yeah. I would love to see her.
We've got a lot of plans. We'll be busy, but we'll try and work something out.
Yeah. No, she honestly we the whole day at work we would just at the Monolith we would just be just bullshitting with each other and and I remember I got you on technical support and I was like, oh my God, you're right, his voice is like butter. And I went full on Barbara Streisand, Linda Richmond SNL, my God, I'm old.
Yeah, I remember, and I texted her right after. I said, "Hey, I just got Hal."
Yeah. So, but so no, it's I miss the hell out of her, and I hope we get in touch with each other, and she's the one that is responsible for these glasses.
Dude, Zenny Optical. She was a big proponent.
Did she tell you about the whole?
Oh
study?
yeah, these. Oh no, I don't know, but mine are also from the same place that she recommended.
Like it was really funny because I was about
get a sponsor. Get yourself a sponsor, Hal.
Yeah, I do need to get a sponsor.
Zenny Optical, there it is.
Well, I mean, I do have a sponsor for. In the
well, I mean, different kind of
sponsor. Yeah, but yeah, no, she. We were at Pearl Vision, and they're complete cunts at that place. I mean, they really are. I mean, and I don't use that word lightly, and I'm sorry, I might have to cut that word out.
Actually, I've always had a good experience at Pearl Vision. That's where I go to.
Really, I go there, and the I always feel like that the doctor or whomever they've got that they pulled away from squeegeeing a car at that particular moment in time. Like I always feel like they're just getting really angry at me. Like I honestly I feel like I'm around my dad. Like this,
really?
Like they're very disapproving and like it's like and they're just like it's left or right, and I'm just like I don't know.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of, and then I'm just glad they don't. And then I get these weird panic attacks when they do the whole eye like the pupil dilation thing.
Sure.
I don't like
a little puff of air.
Yeah, that too. Oh my god, anything involving eyes, I can't handle. Like I can handle just about anything in a horror movie. But like when it comes to anything involving eyes, like whether it's in a movie or TV or real life, I can't.
Locutus style, right into the eyeball.
Oh god,
are you a TNG fan?
The Next Generation. Yeah. Yes, I am.
So the episode where Jean-Luc Picard becomes Locutus of Borg.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. So we don't talk about that here. No, and then the ladies there, it's like they don't want to be there. It's like
who does want to be at their job?
That's true. But like, so I asked Allison. I was like, hey, Allison, can you come with me? I need help finding glasses, and she's always got top notch glasses that she's wearing, right?
Yep.
And like. She was like, sure, okay. And so we go there, and I get my eye test, and I come out, and she's like, I find the pair that I like, and it's like going to be like $150 or $130 or something like that. And like she was like,
with the monoliths insurance,
exactly. And she and I'm literally handing my credit card over to this lady. And our fingertips are just about touching with and like in slow mo, it was like a John Woo movie. Like Allison,
was there a pigeon flying in the
There
background?
was a pigeon flying. Allison jumps into the in between us and was like, "Hell no!" And she just hold on, I had to take a sip of water. Too much Alto there. And she was like, and I just like whiplashed the credit card back from. She's like, this for $50. And I was like, okay, I think we got a deal. And I said, we'll be in touch to the lady, and the lady was just like, but we made the mistake of not knowing like the pupillary distance. So I had to I had to call them back
and ask for it.
And I was too much of a chicken shit to do it. So Allison was like, do you want me to do it for you? And I was like you do that for me? And she's like, yeah. I was like, so how are we going to do that? Like I had to think of a whole plan. Like, I mean, like to make it seem convincing, Like I was like, so you got to lower your voice, but not too much. She's like, Al, just give me the fucking phone, And she calls him. And she's like, hey, I was just in there. What's my pupillary distance? And the lady was like, like really pissy and like shit. And like
it's never been my experience because I've done the same thing.
Yeah, and like and then she was like, yeah, thanks, click. And it's just it's just like I need that kind of assertiveness. Like it wasn't even that assertive. She basically was just asking a question and they answered it.
I am definitely the assertive one of the two of us.
Are you really?
When necessary, yeah.
Wow. Like now I need an example. Like how?
Goodness. It's just.
Give me an example. Come on, dude.
Oh goodness.
When are you assertive? Because
so here's a fun story. Here's a fun story. So I was in 8th grade, 7th grade or 8th grade. So I was even
Wow, this is going
I was like
back.
13 or 14.
Okay.
And there was a school trip to the Mall of America.
Okay.
And I was with my 2 best friends, and we went to this store. My mom had given me a $20 bill for food for the day.
Oh, nice.
So I went to the this place to get a snack, and the guy gave me change as though it was a 10. And I said, "I'm sorry, that I gave you a 20." And he looked at me, and I was just a kid, basically. And he said, "It was a 10." I said, "No, it was a 20.
Yeah.
You need to give me change for a 20."
Yeah.
And he had to call his manager over, and it was a big ordeal. And they literally counted through every receipt for the day and all the cash.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the manager like glared at the guy, and the guy threw a $10 bill at me. But that's me. Like, I am very much like, this is right, this is the way, and I'm gonna do it. I try to be very open minded, but I am also very assertive.
Yeah, and see, with me, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, there was this one time.
A whinger. You're a whinger.
What does that mean?
Whinge is you're scared. You're whinging away. My dad is a whinger.
Okay.
My mom is very assertive, so I get it from her.
Yeah, no, like I had this experience at like B Dalton. Which obviously is like way back in the day because B Dalton. I don't even think B Dalton exists anymore.
I'm not sure.
Bookstore.
I don't even
but
remember.
I remember
where it was.
I went there and I got like a book, and it was like literally within like a 7 to 10 minute period, and I came to my dad picked us up, because I couldn't drive at that point, and and he was like, "Oh, Hal, we already bought you this for Hanukkah or something like that," and I was like, "Oh." He goes, "Just go take it back." And the receipt, I don't know if the receipt fell out or something, or that I don't think they gave me a receipt. We're gonna go with that story.
There you go.
All right, but they, like I said, it was like 7 minutes ago. You know what I mean? And they're like, "You don't have a receipt. We're not taking this back." And I'm like, okay. And like my dad, like I tell my dad, and my dad was like, "Okay, I'm coming in now." And like he goes in, and he was like, "You just saw him 7 minutes ago. Return the book." And they're like, "Well, we're gonna need to call the higher ups." And like my dad was like, "Then go call the higher ups because like he was in here 7 minutes ago. You don't recognize this fucker?" He didn't say that. But he would never call me a fucker. Although that's another story. So no, like, well, here's the thing. My dad does not. He'll say shit and bitch and stuff like that. But like I've only heard him say the F word maybe 5 times in my life.
Sure.
But I remember like, but when he does it, it's really like angry and just like you're just like, oh my god, I just want to crawl into a shell and just disappear. Like we were waiting for a parking spot outside. There's this place in Nebraska. It's the biggest furniture store in the U.S. It's Nebraska Furniture Mart.
All right.
I still think IKEA is bigger, and I get huge anxiety attacks in IKEA. I get huge anxiety attacks at Sam's Club because high ceilings and a lot of people make. I don't like people, David, which is weird because I interview people on my podcast. But
that's right. See, I find it helps to be taller and bigger than all of them. It works.
See, I'm a
sorry.
hobbit. I'm like Frodo here. So anyway, furniture stores. Where was I going with
your
that?
father? Swear.
My father. Yeah. So it was like a big busy day at the furniture store, and my dad. We're waiting for a parking spot, and this lady, African American lady, doesn't really matter what the race is. I probably didn't even need to mention it, but this black lady like pulls in like right when for this space that we've been waiting for like 10 minutes, and like my dad like rolls down the window and yells, "Fuck you!" And like this old lady's like, and I'm just like, "Dad, you just said, how did you? What is happening?" And like he was like, "Well, she took our parking space," and I'm like. You can't just yell "fuck you" out to some poor old 90-year-old
Well, I promise you that you can.
You can, and maybe you should have.
You know what I do to borrow a phrase that you used earlier, if an old lady is being a cunt.
Yes.
What I do is I say, "You're a not nice person."
Really?
And that is really, I think, bites deep to the so-called greatest generation.
Really?
You tell them that they're not a nice person, that you are a bad person for doing what you're doing. That is far more effective than saying "fuck you, bat."
I'm gonna say that's my mom. Not the "fuck you, bat" part, but
Yeah.
but you're a not nice person. Like, because my mom, as she's gotten older, she's gotten more eccentric. Like, she won't swear anymore. She'll be like, well, that just stinks, or something like that.
Sure.
And she calls her purse. She refers to her purse now instead of a purse as a handbag. And I'm like, what are you, fucking 90? Like,
It could be a handbag.
it can be, it can be a handbag.
Speaking as one who uses what might be described as eccentric terms for different things.
I have a man purse. It's okay. I have a merce, which is fine. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But my mom, I don't understand why she couldn't just leave it at purse and be good with it. She was like, well, my friend told me that I should be referring to it as a handbag, and I'm like,
let her have it, Hal. Let her have it. Let her do what she wants. It's just words.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't let things go though. Like
I understand where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
I feel one of my biggest philosophies that I try to live by is if something somebody does makes them happy and it's not hurting anybody else, who gives a fuck? What's it matter?
I think you need to leave. No. That's kind of what I said about my cocaine addiction. Like, I was like, it's only hurting me.
Well, I think all narcotics should be legal, and we need to put the money that we put into arrests and incarceration into rehabilitation to help the people that have problems.
Have you seen season 3 or 4 of The Wire? I mean,
no, I have not. No,
Because
but I've researched this topic a lot.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, in one of the seasons of The Wire, they decided to legalize drugs in one area of Baltimore, and they call it Hamsterdam, which is like because it's like a hamster cage, you know,
Sure.
like and
Makes sense.
and like everything goes tits up, you know, and like.
But there are real world examples of it working.
Yeah. No, I honestly, like, here's the deal. I think weed should be legalized. I think most drugs. I mean, I still think people should, you know, be responsible with them.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
And that's why it would still be illegal to operate any kind of vehicles
Exactly,
while
yeah.
intoxicated, and employers can then make whatever regulations they want.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I think if you're in the privacy of your own home, do what you want.
Yep.
Do what makes you happy. Try not to die. You know, dying is not good.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's why you put more money into rehabilitation and addiction recovery.
Yeah, there were a few occasions where I was just like, I'd done some coke, and my neighbor, I can imagine my neighbors. I'm sure they can't hear me. Anyway, but I'd done something, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. I can feel my heart like literally going bum 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 bum. I was like, just ride it out, man. I called my aunt, who was like the last. I mean, because she smokes pot, and she's. I love you, Aunt Paula, and you're wonderful. But like she had to talk me down from like a cocaine like it wasn't. I can't say it was an overdose, but it was definitely one of those moments where I'm like, okay, I don't even know what's happening to me right now. Like, I was in the shower and I was like, oh my god, every drop of water is like making me feel like I'm dying. And like she was like, just go lay down, put a movie on, you'll be fine, just rock back and forth, and it helped. But like I was just like, oh my god, I think this is it. Like I thought my life was on the line for a little while there, but so I did it more because that's just the way it works.
Then you were feeling like you were living, right?
I stopped doing it for a while, and then like this is really weird. I had like I got this weird addiction to the, you know, pixie sticks, the candy, you know,
Sure. Yeah.
And like
Food colored sugar,
exactly. And I loved it, and eventually I had this, and this was at like when I was working at Mutual Omaha. I'm not afraid to say where I was working there, because I've been long since fired from that place. When you OD at your desk, that's not a good. That's a bad thing that happens.
Yeah, I would suspect.
Yeah, that would be one of those times where they want those regulations are put in place for a reason. Yeah. Oh wow.
Hi, kitty.
The cat's out. Jazzy Boo.
That's a small kitty.
Yeah, she's like almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Yeah. She speaking of cunts. She's like, yeah. So anyway, she yeah. So anyway, but I started doing a lot of pixie sticks, and there's this guy who's my desk mate next door,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Hey, you want to do a little, And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I do, because I hadn't done it for a long time, and I thought I can handle this. It's been a while, and it was amazing. It felt great, and I felt like I was at the top of the world. I felt like I had some control in my life for the first time in my life, and then things went south as these
as they are wont to do.
As they are wont to do.
With an O.
Right, exactly. And next thing I know, like I've said this story, my wife hurdles a brick of Post-it notes in my head, and then next thing I know, I'm at my parents' house, and my dad's overlooking me pouring like a vial of like cocaine down the toilet, and I'm just like, I did not see this as part of the trajectory of my day on this day, and we had only been married, like religiously married, because we got married in a court first, but we'd only been married for like probably maybe like 3 or 4 months. So I mean, things could have gone south pretty quick with my marriage. You know what I mean? Like this could have been, but she gave me the. You ever seen me Walk Hard?
No.
Okay, you need to check that.
The Rock, right?
What?
Is it Dwayne Johnson?
No, it's like a spoof of all the musical biopics.
Okay.
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story with John C. Reilly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, but so my wife gave me the choice of rehab or divorce. So I chose.
You said that very Jewishly.
That's that. Well, in the movie, you need to go to rehab, because all of his agents, all of his management are Jews, and they all have the the payas and the hat and so that you need to go to rehab. So rehab or divorce, and I was like, this is probably as good as I'm gonna get. That sounded really bad. No, I mean, this is the best life I've had in a lot, ever, being married to you. And, so I chose my wife over drugs, which
that seems like a good choice.
It was an amazing choice. And, and the thing is, our whole courtship and engagement leading up to marriage was just a perfect storm. I mean, my wife would be the first one to admit that she was a very controlling person. Can still be a very controlling person, but I am also one of those people that need to be controlled. I seek affirmation and control, and did I do okay, and so it was a perfect storm of that, so that's how we found ourselves together. Just she needed to control something and I needed to be controlled. So now we each go to our own 12-step groups. I actually go to hers too. I can't mention them because it's one of the principles of one of the rules of
tenets.
Yeah, exactly. One of the principles of the thing, press, radio, and
covenants.
There you go. And but both 12-step groups, I mean, they saved our marriage. I mean, because we would be fighting all the time, trying to, she'd be trying to control me, and I'd be trying to buck against control, which is new to me, but are you completely bored by this conversation?
No, it's fine. Right. No. It's interesting.
No, so but no, it saved our marriage, and we're good now. I mean, we've been trying to have a family for about 3 or 4 years.
Well, you're getting 8 new puppies, so
yeah, I know. We had a failed adoption about almost 2 years ago. It came pretty darn close to us being parents.
If you try again, I don't know if you did it or not, but the Monolith actually has tremendous adoption assistance.
They do once you actually have the placement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But we were there for the birth mom's false labor. We were there we got to see the ultrasounds, the heartbeat. We were there. We texted this lady, and then all of a sudden, we're keeping the baby. They text my wife in the middle of the day, work day, and basically are like, yeah, we're keeping the baby. Sorry if you we hope you're not hurt. And I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
You ever watch BoJack Horseman?
No.
That was
I've
an excellent show, and that
it?
was basically one of the subplots of
Really?
this latest season. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it was.
You want to cry?
Really?
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make me cry, but it is. It does.
Does anything make you cry, David?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Up? You kidding me?
Oh my God! The first 10 minutes of Up. Just thinking about that makes me cry. Just listening to the music from that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Michael
Giacchino
or Giacchino or whatever his name is.
I don't recall who did the soundtrack to that.
Yeah, I collect film scores. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love film scores.
Yeah, I have like 700 film scores on my phone.
Nice.
Like,
ooh, now who's your favorite composer?
I love Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite soundtrack then? Your favorite score of his?
Oh gosh, True Romance.
True Romance.
Oh wait, hold on. I love that score, but I also love Inception.
Inception's is very
Inception
good.
and Interstellar are really amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one. My favorite Hans Zimmer score, Kung Fu Panda.
Really? I've never seen it.
I love the movies, but his scores on it are beautiful. They're not what you expect from Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful, and they inspired me to want to learn more about traditional Chinese instruments, and I've bought several.
Really?
And tried to learn to play them. Yeah.
I like James Newton Howard too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like his soundtrack to Unbreakable is just.
I don't know if I've heard that one.
Oh my God, dude! Have you seen the movie?
I have not.
Oh my goodness.
That's the Mark Wahlberg football one, isn't it?
No, God no.
That's Invincible.
That's Invincible. Yeah. Unbreakable's with an M. Night Shyamalan movie with Bruce Willis. Yep, Shyamalama Ding Dong. With Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh,
where Bruce Willis survives a train crash, and you find out that he may be a superhero. He may be in Unbreakable.
Gotcha.
He's the only survivor in like hundreds of people.
Sure.
And Samuel L. Jackson. Sorry, spoiler alert. If you actually, fuck you guys. It's been almost 20 years. If you haven't seen Unbreakable by now, fuck you. You don't get a spoiler alert. So, do you care if I spoil?
No, go ahead.
So you find out that Samuel L. Jackson, he's been trying to draw Bruce Willis, and be like, you could be a superhero. I've been studying, he's a comic book aficionado.
So he's just Nick Fury.
Yeah, well, kind of, but he's in a wheelchair, and he's he's the opposite end. He's like completely his bones is like glass basically, and
a juxtaposition.
Yeah, exactly. There's a scene where he falls down a whole flight of steps, and you're just like, oh fuck! It's like the most painful thing to watch, in a movie. But you find out that the train crash. Or the train wreck that Bruce Willis survived, and all these other catastrophes have been Samuel L. Jackson's work. You find out at the end, he's actually the villain, and he's been doing this to find if there's a real superhero out there. And by doing that, he's been doing all these terroristic things to see three words: one lone survivor. And so and they're making the sequel's coming out January 19th. It's called Glass, because that's what he calls himself, Mr. Glass. But did you see the movie Split?
No. Okay.
Well, Split is, you find out with James McAvoy, he plays 22 different personalities in that movie. Yeah,
that sounds fun.
It's a scary fucking movie. Again, M. Night Shyamalan. But at the end there's an Easter egg, and because he escapes at the end. And they have an Easter egg at the end of the credits where they pan over to Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable, and you realize that they've created
they're in the same universe.
And now there's going to be a sequel called Glass, January 19th, that I've been literally waiting 19 years for, and it's going to be James McAvoy versus Bruce Willis, because James McAvoy, one of his personalities is the Beast, and he eats people, and he's just super strong. Cool. And dude.
I think I recall the trailers for both of these.
Oh my god, dude, you gotta check out Unbreakable. I've got it on Blu-ray, I've got it on DVD. If you want to borrow it, please watch it. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I know you say you don't go to the movie. You don't go to the movies very often then?
I mean, I like movies. I love
Yeah,
movies,
yeah.
but no, I just don't make it to the theater very frequently.
Is there anything like that's coming out this next year that you're just like, hey, I actually really want to see that?
Oh, I mean, certainly the new. Well, this isn't a movie, but the final season of Game of Thrones. I'm pretty.
Oh
stoked
God,
for.
yeah. That. See, I never watch them when they actually air. I just get them on Blu-ray, so I always end up waiting like like a year for them to be. And yes, they're. But somehow I'm always managed to be really good about not getting any spoilers.
That's good.
I just avoid them like the plague, and I've managed to do well. I'm just glad Ramsey got his
Ramsey
his
and
desserts.
Littlefinger.
Yeah, Littlefinger got their just desserts. And yeah, but no, that scene at the end. Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry, you had a whole year again. When the dragon just blows, with the ice, the Night King just blows the whole wall down. Like I was just like, what just happened?
It was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. I mean, the whole battle, and the thing is, when the dragon gets killed by the Night King in a spear, oh my God. I was crying. I was crying. Yeah, exactly. And they're dragging him out of the, and you're just like, oh my God, this is gonna be so fucked up and terrible, and they're gonna do what they did to that baby in the couple seasons back, where and then when the dragon opens up its eye, I was like, oh shit, just got real.
Yeah. Well, they kind of gave it away. Like even the promotional poster had an ice dragon on it, so they kind of gave it away.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like I managed. Maybe I'm just good at keeping my head in the sand. I don't know, man. But apparently, I read an article and the people are saying that are making the show saying that after you watch the season finale, you're gonna need to get therapy because it's just gonna wreck you.
I've heard a whole bunch of different theories of what's going to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen, but
I mean, everybody's going to die, right? I mean, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Everybody you love is going to die.
Like the Red Wedding episode, honestly, that had to have been one of the toughest. My wife.
See, that one didn't even get me so much. I never liked either Rob or Catelyn.
See, here's the thing. I think for me it wasn't them. I think the part where they stabbed the pregnant lady and
sure.
For me, that was brutal to watch. I was just I mean, I didn't care that they slit Catelyn's throat or kill Robb Stark. I could give two shits about them. I'm all about Arya and and the Hound and I like Brienne of Tarth. For me, those are my favorite characters because they're just so they're not your typical medieval kind of characters. You know what I mean? I love the arc that Arya has gone through, from being just this kind of knight wannabe to being this assassin with many faces.
Sure.
I love it. I love it when she killed was it Walder Frey?
Walder Frey.
Yeah, Walder Frey. When she feeds him his own kids and stuff like that. Oh God, I just the show is fantastic.
It's an excellent show.
But George R.R. Martin, that motherfucker, I think he's a piece of shit. And I know that's going to piss off a lot of my audience, possibly, and I don't give a shit. But the thing is, honestly, you wrote another book instead of finishing the Game of Thrones books, because he just had a new book come out that takes place 300 years before the Game of Thrones. Right, and really? You did that?
Well, I think the show came up and he got really invested in that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. They took the show and went in their own direction because he didn't finish. You know. So here's the thing. But at the end of the day, he still gets to be a fucking rock star based on what they've done. You know what I mean? No matter what they've done, they're gonna be like, oh, George R.R. Martin did Game of Thrones.
I mean, I just cannot disparage on somebody who is such a good author and has created such a rich universe that has gotten so many people involved in it, and it's art. It's that culture of art again.
It is. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing.
And he is a man of integrity. He does things his way, and I respect that.
And and to a certain extent, I get what you're saying, and I guess the way another way of looking at it is he's not going to half-ass it.
Exactly.
He's going to do it.
He does everything. He does it right.
Yeah.
He's probably going to die before it's all done, but you know,
right.
whatever. That'll just
that
increase
happens
the mystique.
with almost with Stephen King in the Dark Tower series.
Yeah, sure.
Did you ever?
I've read the first one, but I haven't read any others.
The first one's really dry, and
I loved it. I just haven't.
It's great, but it's a lot drier than the other ones. And and he wrote it when he was like 19. You know, like so you can tell that he's just kind of like, you know, he's just not there at the levels that he can be capable of. You know,
sure.
But Stephen King is like a huge hero for me because he Trent Reznor, Mark Maron, who's a podcaster, like. They're all heroes to me because they're all in recovery and they've cleaned their lives up, you know. I'm a huge Trent Reznor fan. I don't know if you're a Nine Inch Nails fan or not. But
a bit, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anybody who's able to like still do their art and maintain a lifestyle.
Alice Cooper, then.
Alice Cooper is awesome too. Yeah, I love Alice Cooper. I'll never forget him. Just his scene in Wayne's World is just
hilarious.
It's hilarious. And he's like, and they're like,
it's actually called Milwaukee.
yeah. I mean, like the guy's just really. I mean, they're all brilliant. Like, I mean, I to a certain extent, you have to be kind of. I mean, I can't say you have to be like you have to be a smart guy to be an artist. I mean, you don't have to be a smart guy. Jackson Pollock shit. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful in its own right, but like, let's face it, it's people just he's throwing paint at shit. But
what is intelligence?
But true. Certainly not this podcast. Right?
IQs are fluctuating. There are so many different. I think there's no good way to actually measure intelligence.
Yeah.
So, it is just it's just being a person and contributing something. I think.
Yeah. So, what do you? I mean. Do you plan on now that since you're moving to Georgia, how are things going to go with the band? I mean, have they found a new replacement?
No, but they are in the search for finding a replacement guitarist.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to start your own band?
Well, I am really looking forward to getting back to writing music. I've loved Sinister and everything that we've done, but I am really looking forward to getting back into writing music. There's a couple different things. I want to do a bluegrass band.
Oh, yeah.
And I also want to do. My ultimate dream, which I hope to accomplish at some point, will be to run a 5-piece modern take on a string quintet.
Wow, that sounds pretty ambitious.
It is. It would be ambitious. I would write most of the music for it. I want to look for some multi-instrumentalists. It would. Yeah, I mean, I could go into my dreams on it, the music that I've written for it, and things that I want to do, but
why not? No.
Well, there is an instrument called a guitar viol created by a guy who goes by Toga Man.
Okay.
And they are extremely unique instruments. And from the moment I saw one, I knew I wanted one. It is a guitar that, it's kind of a cross between a guitar and a viola da gamba, which is a stringed bowed instrument that you hold like this.
Yeah.
It would go in your lap, and you do an underhanded bow on it. But it has guitar tuning. And so it's to a guitar, it's very relativistic and easy to pick up as a guitar. So I mean, easy with quotation marks because I'd have to learn a bow. The nice thing is, one of those Chinese traditional instruments I mentioned called an erhu, you also play in that same style with the underhanded bow technique. So I'm trying to learn how to play a bow. But anyway,
I fucked up playing Mariette Little Lamb at my first piano recital, so good on you, man.
Well, both my parents are professional classical musicians.
Are they really? My mom is a former opera singer. So
my dad is also a former opera
singer. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh wow.
So anyway, it would be me mostly playing that guitar viol, but then I want a standard string quartet along with it. There are going to be songs where I want to switch to. I hope to find one who plays piano. Yeah. And then I would switch probably from I'd play guitar, and then I want to incorporate a lot of world culture into it. So I would play the erhu, I would play other world instruments along with a string quartet arrangement. So that is my dream, and I know I can do it someday.
You can do it, man. And
but one of those instruments is $5,000. So we're working on it.
You're at the Monolith. You're in good hands.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, you look at that 401k and those 401k loans, it's so easy.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's the thing. Like I look at my 401k every so often, and I like say to my wife, we could just go buy a baby off the black market. I mean, like seriously, like what are we doing? We're waiting. It's like an online dating service. We're waiting for a birth mom to like look at our profile, and be like, hey, they look kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? We could go full Raising Arizona and just steal a baby and live off my 401k for a while, Anyway, we're not really stealing babies, just for the record.
Just this is everything here is just for entertainment purposes.
Well, yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for being on the show, and I really appreciate you being a good sport in such short notice, and you're leaving when?
It's not set. I don't have any set dates, but it's going to be this spring.
It's going to be this spring. All right, man. Well, hey, we'll all have to get together before that, and So thanks again, and any words of wisdom to somebody who also has? I always ask this. Somebody who has dreams of being a musician or in a band, or what your ambitions are. Any advice?
Oh, advice?
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged when things don't always go exactly how you want, I'd say. There are always going to be people that find success, and if you don't find the success you're looking for immediately, that's okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to say like I'm some super wise person or anything, but music and art is not about what you get out of it in terms of profit or success. It's about what you get out of it emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. And as long as you keep that your focus, you're going to be okay.
And that, friends, was David Jorgensen, Danish, not Swedish. And we had a really good talk. I mean, it didn't have a lot of focus, but you know what? That's art, man. I'm not that I'm saying I'm an artist by any means, but this episode was kind of like a Jackson Pollock painting. It had a little bit of everything thrown at it. A little bit of mom and dad bashing, a little bit of talk about music, art. Hey, it's the first episode that we used the word cunt, which I don't usually use, so I'm sorry if that offends people. I usually say see you next Tuesday, but us, we don't see you next Tuesday. We see you one day at a time. Anonymous.